بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. Welcome to another clip from the clips of the Arabic teacher on YouTube. In this clip, by the will of Allah, I am going to talk about which is better to learn, classical Arabic or dialects, and why would I say which one you should learn first. I say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The language or the Arabic that you should learn is the classical Arabic, what's known as Al-Fusha, for the following reasons. First of all, the classical Arabic is the language of the Quran and the language of the Hadith, traditions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the language that is used in the books, the classical books of the scholars. So therefore, the language, the liturgical language of Islamic education is the classical Arabic, not dialects. So because of that, you should learn, or you should make that the first thing that you should learn, the classical Arabic. Secondly, the classical Arabic is the language of the official institutions or organization in the Muslim world and the Arabic world, such as Islamic court, high courts, officials, publications, even news, anything that you would want to be done in a formal way, that has to be conveyed in the classical Arabic, Al-Fusha. The third reason is one thing that you will notice is obviously now there are many dialects in the Muslim and the Arabic world. Now, if two people from two different places, let's say for example from the Gulf, one of the Gulf states, and the other person is from, for example, Morocco, if they were to meet somewhere and each one of them were speaking their local dialect, their lahja, it's known as lahja, then they would not understand each other for the most part, unless they have previous knowledge of each other dialects. But if they were to meet and none of them had an idea about the other person dialect, they would understand each other. The only time that they would understand each other, if they both speak classical, if they both speak Fusha, then that's the time they will understand each other. So that's another reason. That's a third reason, which is you will be able to understand someone. If you were from a different dialect, you will only be able to understand him if you only speak classical, or if he only speaks classical. The fourth reason is that is a common reason, which is classical, to be honest, is stronger, better, clearer, and also more modest in terms of terms that are used. The other thing is that the classical Arabic doesn't change, and it didn't change from the time of reception until today, is still the same. But the dialects, they change. The dialects, they change, and they take a new form every so and so years. So because of that, I recommend for anybody who want to learn Arabic, that they learn Al-Fusha, the classical Arabic, first and foremost. Now, when it comes to the dialects, I do not prohibit people from knowing about dialects. Personally, being a linguist, then I am aware of some of the dialects, and it helps, to be honest, sometimes to know something about a local dialect in somewhere, especially a place that you are anticipating to move to, or you are anticipating to visit or work. However, that should be just as a common knowledge, known as a common knowledge, not to be made, the foremost or the pinnacle of, your learning process. But it is something to be known, like a side issue, something that will help when you know it. And sometimes, yes, and many times you will notice that the people, they speak the dialect when they are somehow relaxed, but what I say is that let not the dialect take over the classical. Let not the dialect take over the classical. learn the classical, speak the classical, write in the classical, in the Fusha, yeah, if you want. Um, but do not يعني make your always your communication always in dialect, because like I said, dialects not everybody will understand them. They change, and some of them sometimes, to be honest, they lack modesty in terms of the terms that are used. So because of this, I recommend the classical for anybody who want to learn Arabic. So this is what I can tell you. Of course, if there's something that has not been mentioned here, feel free to mention that in your comment or in your feedback. And I would like to thank you for taking time to watch this clip. And thank you for those of you who have suggested to me that I should improve the quality of my video. Like you see now, there's been a new feature here, which is lighting is better. Of course, we are going to try to make this better and better in future. So thank you very much for listening to the Arabic teacher on YouTube. شكرا جزيلا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.